While most of us are sure we like to have sex, we've never spent much time thinking about what happens in the body while we're engaged in the act. Masters and Johnson, two groundbreaking sex therapists, coined the term sexual response cycle, defining the sequence of events that happens in the body every time a person is sexually aroused and participates in a sexually stimulating activity. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Aneet Sabharwal. I'm a Delhi-based psychiatrist with a decade-long experience in sexual health, mental health, and addiction. Let's talk about your body during sex. Getting to know what happens to your body before, during, and after sex has the potential to make sex amazing. And that's because getting in touch with yourself and your body allows for a comfortable experience. You're able to understand better how you feel and what you like. It also opens the doors of communication between you and your partner, and with practice will better serve your needs, both physically and emotionally. The sexual response cycle is divided into four main phases: excitement, plateau, orgasm, and resolution. Now you have to understand that there is no distinct beginning or end to each phase. They're actually all part of a continuous process of sexual response. Although men and women both go through these phases, men will typically orgasm first during intercourse, and women may take up to 15 to 20 minutes to reach the same place. This makes simultaneous orgasm during sexual intercourse a rare event. Let's now discuss the phases of the cycle. Phase 1 is excitement. Here you start to really want sex. This phase starts 10 to 30 seconds after erotic stimulation and can last anywhere between a few minutes to a few hours. In this phase, you have a biological desire to have sex, and this is because of the hormonal changes that happen inside your body. This is the process of arousal, and this is the first physiological experience of the body being turned on. Now, MRI studies reveal that the limbic system, which is your emotional center, is specially activated during this phase. In both men and women, your heart rate speeds up, your blood pressure rises, your breathing becomes faster, your pupils may dilate by up to 4 times their normal size, your body begins to release nitric oxide, and this leads to triggers such as increased blood supply to various parts of your body. And also because of this increased blood supply, you may also develop flushing of the skin in areas like the back, chest, and the face. This is fittingly called the sex flush. If you're a woman, a phenomena called tenting happens. This is essentially dilation of the vagina, and this dilation allows for easier entry of the penis into the vagina. Other than this, your clitoris, which also has the same erectile tissue as the penis, becomes engorged with blood and becomes erect. This makes it more sensitive to stimulation. Also, your inner vaginal lips and your vaginal walls become engorged with blood and swell up. Now, because of the increased blood supply to your breasts, your breast size may actually increase by up to 25%. At the same time, the areola, which is the area around the nipples, also receives increased blood supply and becomes darker. Your nipples will stand erect, and as a general rule, women's nipples are more sensitive than men's. Because of the increased blood supply also, your vagina will receive more lubrication, and this facilitates insertion of the penis into the vagina. And lastly, your muscles start tensing up in the eventual build-up to orgasm and the resulting physical release. If you're a man, your penis becomes slightly erect, your nipples become erect, and your penis goes wet. It secretes the fluid, and this fluid acts as a lubricant for when you start to insert your penis into the vagina. Phase 2 is the plateau phase. Here sexual stimulation starts to feel even better. In this phase, all that was already happening keeps on happening along with a few new developments. In this phase, an even higher activity of parts of the brain connected with the sexual response cycle happens. More specifically, this is the limbic system. In both men and women, you'll feel that your hands, thighs, hips, buttocks tense up, and also your hairs stand on their ends. This is in simple language called goosebumps, and in scientific language called piloerection. If you're a woman and you've never had children before, your vaginal walls will turn from pink to bright red. And if you've had children, your vaginal walls will turn from bright red to purple. Also, your clitoris becomes even more sensitive to stimulation. And knowing what's good for it, the clitoris actually retracts itself into the clitoral hood, protecting it from overstimulation. If you're a man, your penis now becomes fully erect, the glans or the top of the penis grows to its maximum size, and also the testicles are drawn up to the scrotum to ensure that the sperm has the shortest journey to make to the end of the penis. Phase 3 is orgasm. Now this is the climax of the cycle. It's also the shortest phase of the cycle, lasting only for a few seconds. In both men and women, your heart rate, blood pressure and breathing hits the roof. It's the maximum compared to all other phases. For men, their heart rate peaks at about 100 beats per minute, and for women, it peaks at about 90 beats per minute. Your muscle tension and blood vessel engorgement also reach their peak. Sometimes orgasm is associated with clasping type muscular reflex of the hands and the feet. A major orgasm characteristic is a sudden, intense release of tension. Now sometimes this tension can be so intense that you may actually black out, and at other times it's a gentler whoosh. You have to understand that this is different for different people and can also be different for the same person with different sexual experiences. If you're a woman, the first third of your vaginal walls will begin to start contracting rhythmically. Now the frequency and intensity of these contractions varies depending on individual orgasms, but on average, these contractions will occur 6 to 8 times per second. The uterus also starts to contract, although that's barely noticeable. If you're a man, the first thing that will happen is that the semen will get collected at the base of the penis. This stage is called as the ejaculatory inevitability. It is at this stage that the man begins to understand that orgasm is certain. The next stage is that the semen is ejaculated from the penis. This happens through rhythmic contractions in the penis. On average, these contractions will last between 15 to 20 seconds. Phase 4 is resolution. Here you snuggle, fall asleep or go again. This phase is a return to the normal resting state. This phase is longer in women than it is in men, and it lasts from a few minutes up to half an hour or longer. In this phase, there is a characteristic release of certain hormones, which include oxytocin, which helps you bond with your partner, dopamine, which stimulates the brain's reward centers and actually reinforces the sexual act, and prolactin, which helps improve your sense of smell, helping you to remember the odor of your partner's pheromones, which is a chemical that is released from a sweat to attract the opposite sex. The end result, you feel close and bonded to your partner. Also, within 10 to 20 minutes, your heart rate returns to its baseline, your breathing becomes normal, any swelling recedes, your sex flush disappears, and there's a relaxation of all of your muscles. You may also experience what is referred to as honeymoon rhinitis. Now, this phenomena occurs because there is an overlap of the neurological circuitry between the ones that control your sexual response and also the blood supply to your nose. This results in a stuffy nose, and you may be out to reach for tissues. If you're a woman, your uterus and clitoris return to their normal positions. If you're a man, your penis will return to its flaccid state. In this resolution phase, there's also a period called the refractory period. Now in this period, men are unresponsive to additional sexual stimulation and they are not able to orgasm. But interestingly, the refractory period does not exist in women, and they're responsive to sexual stimulation and can also have additional orgasms. Okay, so this brings me to the end of the video. Thank you for watching this video till the end. Take care of yourselves.